Okay, so let's move on with breakfast. First of all, then we'll get the bacon. Now we're going to have a separate pan for the bacon, and I'll tell you why that is. One, it's because we're going to you've got a lot of food to cook here all at the same time. And I'm not a fan of letting things heat under a grill, because you've seen it in restaurants where you have self-service buffet. And basically what happens is everything's at the right temperature, but it's all at the wrong temperature, because your bacon will be too crispy, the eggs will be like rubber, and they go like bullets, and that's just not the way to do it. It's a case of 2 frying pans. It's the only way that you can get this to work right. Now this is smoked bacon, and there's very little fat on there, and the great thing about the stuff that we're getting from Tucker's is that there is no water impregnated into it. All pork needs a little bit of water, otherwise you just can't cook it anyway. But what happens with it is, if you go and get it from a lot of supermarkets, they compress tons and tons of water in it. You'd see lots and lots of white stuff and steam and all sorts coming out there. It's just not the way to do it. And your enormous bacon steak, look at that, look at the size of these things, they're absolutely enormous. Cooks down to something that's like very tiny little medallion. It looks like the kind of thing you can place on an Olympic athlete. So we'll keep that spare. Got some good hot oil here. And I'll tell you what we're going to do first of all, is just plonk in the black pudding, because that takes quite a while. Why does it take a while? It's because it's quite thick, okay? So we'll get a little bit of temperature up on that. Don't worry about it getting too hot, because we're going to turn the bacon down just a little bit. And while we're doing that, what we've done is we've taken some of the fresh free-range eggs that we get from Tucker's, and just crack that into a bowl. A few of those breadcrumbs that we have already just grated up. Doesn't matter if it's stale bread, don't worry about that. In fact, it makes it a little bit better, because it makes it nice and crunchy. Now, fish for breakfast. Everybody has kippers. They all have salmon. Everybody's tried that. It's not a problem at all. A bit more bread. Get it in there. Mix it all through. Okay. Get an entire pot of cockles. Mix those through. Okay. Now, what you can do, once you've got that, if you've got a very posh dinner party, get a nice big flat pan, pour that out onto the flat pan. You can sort of make it into a biscuit, and then you can break them off. You can put a little bit less egg in there, and you can have them individual if you've got big enough prawns as well, or you can just fry that en masse as it is. A little bit of salt, no pepper, don't forget, because you don't want to get that acidic taste coming through either. Okay? So we get the bacon, flip that over. This is beautiful stuff. Look how thick that is. Half the time these days you get bacon, you can't even turn it over because it just falls to pieces as you're doing it. That black pudding now is just at the right temperature. I'm going to drop that in with the bacon, just to keep that up to temperature. Take this off the heat a little bit. Now, if you want a fried egg, plonk it in now. Okay? I see lots of very posh chefs cracking eggs on the side of a bowl and then dropping it in. You can do that, but if you're cracking an egg and you want to fry it in a frying pan, you can't afford to have a big broken yellow in it. So take the time to drop it into the pan, and then you're not wasting it. Plenty of oil, flick it over the top, great. Lift the egg under there, oil off, egg there. Take your bacon. Now, what you can do, down in the bacon there, that one there. You've got going on here, black pudding. All of those will retain their temperature, don't worry about it at all. What you need to do now is take that hot oil, just drop in some of these, only a little bit. Saturday morning, so you're allowed to spoil yourself. You are allowed to have cockles. Flatten this off. And what you've got there is an instant fish cake. It happens in seconds, so you've just got to be careful because cockles cook really, really quickly. A little bit of pepper. Take this. I know what bacon and black pudding taste like, but this, it's got a really lovely fishy strong taste to it.